Hey Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading beginning April 12th and 13th, depending on where you are across the globe. My name is Ali from Indigo Ascension. I am an energy healer and intuitive reader. You can find out a little bit more about the work that I do in the description box below, which will have further information on my website, my Facebook page. So the weekly readings are general, yes, they're not a personal reading. I pick up on frequencies of the collective Taurians out there, and I do a reading based on the strongest frequencies, okay? So it's the souls that are perhaps seeking the most guidance at this time, and that can take any form. I do a lot of soul energy work, so that might go as deep as soul path and ascension stuff. It might be quite practical in the realms of love, life, career. It really has no bounds. I've wanted to structure it like I've wanted to structure this business for such a long time, but soul always calls. Let's have a look, Taurus. How are you feeling? Now, your monthly reading is up for April as well, and I call that Practically Soulful. That's more so targeted at the individuals that find themselves on the awakening path. Those that identify as empaths, sensitives, intuitives is what my channel is for. It's about incorporating and integrating the higher wisdoms of higher self, really. But the April ones in particular gets to the nitty-gritty, and then it drags those soul messages down into the practical levels to see where that might be reflected for you. So if you haven't seen your April reading yet, I suggest you go check it out. Your theme for this week, beginning April 12th and 13th, is sound. Maybe in your time in isolation, you find yourself playing a lot of music. Yeah, connecting into the healing frequencies of music. It doesn't have to be solfeggio and healing frequencies. It could be just music that moves you, that creates a mood, okay? Taurus, you're very much, you are of the senses. You do enjoy the exploration of the senses and the indulgence of them too. You love your food, you love that sensory experience of life. And sound is another one too. But when I do get the sound card, I do want to say, be mindful of what you are speaking, and are you emitting the frequency? Are you creating and drawing forth that reality that you're wanting to create, is what I'm intuitively picking up on here too. I could be talking to Tauruses that are just having a great time singing and cleaning the house, or whatever the case they may be doing. Sound and the healing frequencies of that is of importance to you this week in some form. So whether you chuck on some music to spend time while you're spending time at home, while you're doing your daily activities and tasks, whether you are singing and enjoying that. I think all of us saw the beautiful videos that were kicking around right across the world when neighbours have been in isolation, and we're seeing how music is a connection. Yeah, it is a connective field between hearts in empathy, with compassion. So sound is healing for you this week, Taurus. That wants to jump out. You might have children. You might be in a house where you are battling the children. I don't say that lightly. We're all stuck in ISO with our loved ones, and we love them. But it's hard, yeah? It can be difficult. Okay, you've got a lot of competitive energy too here. All right, in the recent past, you've got the Knight of Wands. I feel like there's a chapter, a person, a situation that you were quite passionate about, but you're actually in review mode, and in many ways you feel like it's quite competitive. Yes, it can point to children as a general, but I'm actually feeling what I'm looking at here is more about childish behavior. Childish behavior that feels like I have to be competitive, that feels like it's aggressive for the only reason it needs to be is to be aggressive. That desire for conflict, and what you're wanting is something a lot more mature, a lot more solid, and you're actually reviewing what that means for you, Taurus. I feel like I'm picking up on connection energy, because the Emperor and the Empress is about a marriage. I could be talking to Taurians that are reviewing their connection and their marriage. They might be experiencing conflict over finances, and guys, We're all in the same boat in many ways. Millions across the world have lost their jobs, their everyday financial circumstances. But I feel like that can also be viewed as just a generic review mode as well. We're reviewing our pentacles, we're reviewing the tangible things we have produced together. But right now I feel like there's combative energy, competitive energy, and feeling this is conflict. There's conflict over something. And like I said, that could be conflict between children, yeah, because the page. Is someone pregnant? Conflict over children. I just got a sudden rush. Look, you know, I pick up on frequencies and different storylines. I feel like the one I'm talking about right now is something that you have just found out. Someone around you has just found out, Taurus, because this in the past is, it's that lover energy that we are not thinking about being practical. We just go and do. We rushed into something without thinking. We were thinking with the wrong... Sorry. We were thinking with the wrong head, and now there's news about a birth. There's news about a connection that has formed behind closed doors, perhaps. Between, you know, this is a partnership, a husband and wife, and there was something here on the side. I'm not laughing about that, but I'm also talking about a solid connection that wasn't wanting any more kids because, God, the kids are like this. Look at us all in ISO. We didn't want another kid. And there's now conflict over news because we weren't thinking, and we were engaging our passionate senses. I feel like I'm talking to a Taurian that is reviewing a current situation because someone is definitely in review mode. All right, someone's definitely in review mode. But you're wanting to feel optimistic, Taurus. You're wanting to feel optimistic about what's ahead, the journey ahead. So whatever news, whatever sudden shifts has happened, despite it feeling like conflict right where you are now, this also falls in the future, okay? The immediate future. So sometime this week, sometime next week, so not very far away at all. This is feeling like I'm overflowed with love, feeling abundant, okay? So despite the fact that circumstances feel conflict-ridden, I do think there's going to be foundation-enhancing news. Because it's not about just being practical and being... It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, okay, Taurus? You don't have to hold it all together all of the time, okay? So if there is conflict, if there is... things that you are reviewing, like I do feel like there was a part of you that perhaps wasn't assessing what your needs are in the realms of love, what makes you feel emotionally abundant. I keep dipping back in and out of stories, so this is like the Taurian that's like, okay, life is it feels like we're in conflict at the moment. Excuse me. But you're going to get some good news here. And I felt amused because I feel like I'm even talking to a married couple. Because I feel like I'm talking to a married couple that gets news, that's getting news, a connection. Okay, you don't have to be married. That's getting news about a child, the birth of a child. But I feel when, you know, okay, so when the Justice card shows up, it's like, this is your karma for being careless and passionate. No. I know sometimes those things are just a bit of a shock, okay? When I see the Justice card with the Magician, this is balancing. This is karmically balancing. This is being manifested. And I do intuitively, maybe Taurus, you even saw or heard this coming. Maybe in dreams, you heard the voice of extra children, another child, you might even only have one child now, you know? Yeah, I'm feeling in dream state now. Maybe you heard them, you've heard a voice, and voices, you know, a name's been told to you. Maybe something's wanting to rush in, okay? Because at the base of all this is the Knight of Wands. Something is rushing in. Change of circumstances, but it feels like this. And you know, when the Emperor shows up, it's a pregnancy, it's motherhood, it's the next level of fulfillment. Could be a connection that resembles this to us, you know? Who is the Emperor to your Empress, Taurus? Who is the Empress to your Emperor? After conflict and strife, you know, you're manifesting something here. Make no mistake. You are manifesting, okay? So the words you speak and what you are calling into existence is what I picked up at the very beginning of your reading is relevant, because this is, you end the reading with manifestation energy. Something is made manifest here. It is karma. It is part of your path and journey. Okay? It is balancing and balances, because this balances out this. You're done with the competition. You're done with the conflict. You're done with the house that might feel crazy. You're wanting order. You're wanting to feel like this in your connection. You've perhaps been wondering what's next for us. You've been perhaps wondering, and if you're alone, you've been perhaps wondering what's next for me, because there is a new love in your life, okay? And if you are already in an established connection, that new love, I strongly feel it's a pregnancy that's been manifested, that it is meant to be. It's part of the soul contracts. And if you're single, this is something you have manifested. You have wanted this. You're done with that conflict, youthful energy, you know, that's immature. All right, does that make sense? And they're coming in super fast. So it's, if you don't already know, or if you haven't already met, you haven't already connected, you might have a dream that announces it, yeah? And I feel like this is relevant in that sense. A song you hear might even remind you of what it is you want when it comes to your ideal partnership connection. You might hear songs with a similar name. You might have dreams of someone introducing themselves to you. I kept picking up on dream state for you, Taurus. So I feel dream state is relevant, because I feel like you're hearing a sound. I want to say, you know, the trumpets have called, but this has been announced in your dreams already. If this is not here, and if you're in a marriage and a connection, this baby's on its way and you've perhaps dreamt of a little child already. Or this is, you know, thoughts create things. Be mindful, you know, of what we're thinking, because we're speaking this. We've got to be careful. We're going to get pregnant. We're going to boom, you've just called it in. You've spoken it in with your words. The Magician is manifestation energy. Whatever this week looks like, I get it. We're all at home, we're all in ISO. Relationships can be immature and conflict ridden, you know, single, dating, married, all of the above. We could have a house full of kids that feels like this. Where you're going, what's happening for you this week is, in the very near future, is optimism, an announcement of love, fulfillment, solidifying of foundations, okay? That balances your emotions. You want your emotions to be balanced. I feel that, you know, and music heals for you at this time, Taurus, okay? So whatever it looks like today or now, whenever you hear this energy shifts very quickly for you. Within the week, I'm going to say. I would even put money on it. And it sets the foundations for the next 3 weeks for you. It feels good. Yeah, wow. Sorry. It moves really quick. It's something you feel like you have to juggle. You're tossing, okay, wasn't expecting that. What do I do here? You get crystal clear. It's a leveling up. This is also a passionate spark. It's a divine gift. It's also a phallic symbol. Sorry. This feels fun, and this is your divine partner in the emotional realms. You know, I do feel, look at that. Somebody's pregnant, somebody's coming together, somebody's making something, you know. You're moving out of this conflict energy. Conflict over kids. How do we blend families? How do we expand this family? Do we even want to? You know, you're moving out of conflict energy into some solid connective energy. Yeah? I could talk all day. It ends as a good week, Taurus. Okay? Enjoy your second week of April. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.